Welcome to my April wrap-up. This is the video where I show you which books I've hauled in the month of April, which books I've read, and which books I will be unhauling now after April. So let's start with the book that I've hauled. I got 8 new books. So I shopped a little bit more than I wanted to, but nonetheless I'm excited for every single one of these books, which is why I've bought them. And the first one is Dungeon Crawler Call by Matt Dinniman. It is the hardcover edition. And I'm really excited to read this book. I heard so much good things about that it is a little bit like the Hunger Games, but with more comedy. That is all I know, and a few friends of mine already read this as a buddy read, and when I read these, I can read all their comments and write my own, so I can still discuss it with them. And technically this still counts as a buddy read. I don't know when I will read it because it is a whole series, I think 6 books, but I'm really excited for it. The next book that I've got is The Never List. The English special edition with sprayed edges. This is the naked hardcover and it has these beautiful end pages. And I had this book on my wish list since the first teaser the publisher posted, which was 50 Shades of Grey meets White Shoes, but make it fantasy. Something like that, and I can't wait to read this now in May. It is also a buddy read, and I will start this today as I'm filming this. And the next book is also White Shoes, but this time inspired by Greek mythology. It is Blood of Hercules. Also sprayed edges, and this is the naked hardcover. This is the collector's edition, and I already pre-ordered the collector's edition for book 2. So fingers crossed I will like Blood of Hercules. I started reading the sample before buying this and read maybe 20% of the sample because I only read to the part where I learned that this is a dystopian setting. This was the part where this book was sold to me because this sounded really interesting to me. So also I can't wait to read that book. But because I was in a buying mood, I also bought more new series or first books of new series, which is not good for my series challenge, but nonetheless I bought this super pretty German edition of An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir, a series that I haven't read so far but heard so many good things about. It has sprayed edges, a reversible dust jacket, and it is a stunning naked hardcover with beautiful end paper art. And I'm really excited to read An Ember in the Ashes. I already pre-ordered the special edition of book 2, which will be published in July, August? I can't remember, but in this area. It is a 4-book series and it is young adult fantasy, which is all I know at this point. As I explained in one of my videos before, I like to go in blind in my books because I want to be surprised. I don't want to know too much about the stories, and mostly it is enough for me to know a little bit about the vibes of a story and if it's loved by my friends which have a pretty similar reading taste. So book one for this series, and with this order I also purchased Air by Sabatahir, also a special edition with sprayed edges, a reversible dust jacket with the original cover, and a beautiful naked hardcover with illustrated end pages. I ordered both books because I already know this plays in the same universe as the An Ember in the Ashes series, but hundreds of years after An Ember in the Ashes, so I will definitely wait to read this, but I wanted the stunning edition. And I will read An Ember in the Ashes first, the whole series, before reading Air. But I really like how they look together in the shelf. So I can't wait for the other books in this series and in this series, because yes, it's also the start of a new series. It is a problem for future Sabrina, because the Desert Air is also a new series. So far, only book one of this duology, I think, is out. This is a special edition with sprayed edges. Yes, I did a big order on special editions. This is the original German cover, and this is the naked hardcover with illustrated end pages and a map. And I have literally no clue what this is about. It was a suggestion by the shop when I bought these two books, and I said, yes, it fits the vibe, I will also buy this. I know I had a problem here, but it looked so pretty and I want to try more diverse fantasy, so this looked like a good try for that. And what I thought was also a good try, the Book of Azrael, the only book in this pile that I've already read. It is also a special edition that I pre-ordered because I really loved the design of it. This is the reversible dust jacket, and this is the naked hardcover. We also have illustrated and foiled end pages and a letter from the author. Friends of mine already read this book and loved it, so I needed to buy it, and I regret it a bit because I didn't like the Book of Azrael. I didn't like the writing, the world building. Yes, there is a lot of potential in the story, but there were so much flaws to me that I won't continue the series. But for now, I can put it on my red pile and can show you the last book that I've bought. It is the new book by Emily Henry, Great Big Beautiful Life. And that is all I know about the book, the title, the author, because it was a blind buy for me. I already read all the other books of Emily Henry and really like her books because it is a perfect mix of romance and literary fiction, and I enjoy this very much, so hopefully I will also enjoy Great Big Beautiful Life. I don't know when I will read these or all the other books on the pile except the Never list, which is on my May TBR. So I will see when it fits my mood, because I'm also a bit of a mood reader. And for now, that's it. These are all the books I've hauled. So we can talk about the books that I've read now. I've already told you about the Book of Azrael, and this is a book that you saw in all my TBR videos for this year. But that's it now. I've read it finally. Vicious Fae, the third book in the Ruthless Boy series. A round of applause for me, please. It took me only 4 months to read this book because I wasn't in the mood for it. And I needed 3 tries to finally read the whole book. But I've done it now. I'm very proud of myself. And I already continued the series now in May. It is not my favorite series. It is okay so far. Book 3 was okay. But if I'm honest, at this point I'm only reading the series to know the story so that I can continue Zodiac Academy with the full background knowledge. So book 4 and book 5 are on my May TBR. Let's see if I can finish the series. Spoiler alert, I already read book 4 and book 5 is on this week's to-do list. So fingers crossed, the Ruthless Boys vlog is the next vlog that will be out next week. But before we speak about next week and what comes next, back to what I've read in April. I read The Will of the Many and loved it. It is such a good story, such a good mix, and I really loved James Islington's writing. I can't wait to read book 2 after this end, because what the fuck happened here? I have to wait now until December to read the German edition, because this is German and I really like to read a series in the same language that I've started it. But I'm glad that I haven't had to wait so much more than for the English edition, which comes in November. So I only have to wait a few weeks more. I can do that, and my buddy read partners for book 1 will wait for me to read book 2 together, which I'm really glad for, because as I said before, I love my buddy reads and discussions with friends about the stories that I've read. And the book that I've discussed in my Casimir buddy read in my special Discord for it was The Alloy of Law by Brandon Sanderson. This is the first book in the second era of Mistborn, and I really like this new setting. Hundreds of years after Era 1, and we have new things in the world building, in the setting, but also the things we know from Era 1. And I think it is a really good mix. I really like that and can't wait to read more of Mistborn. And I also can't wait to read more of the Black Dagger Brotherhood. These are the German editions of book 9 of the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. So the story of Pain and Dr. Manuel Manello. And I really like this one and can't wait to continue the series, which has to wait for a little bit, because after a bit of research, this series is more intertwined than I thought with the Fallen Angel series. And in a reading order which combines both series, we would be now on book 3 of Fallen Angels after this story. And Maron, my buddy read partner, and I decided to read both series. So the next books we will read are now Fallen Angels 1, 2 and 3 before we get back to the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. And with that we have all the physical books that I've read in April. And I can add one ebook to this pile, which is Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher. It is the second book in the Dream Lake Billionaire series, and I really liked this book. I loved the main character, and I already told you about this book in the last final chapter vlog, I think. So I am on track now with the Dream Lake Billionaire series and am waiting for book 3 now, which will be out in August, I think. But for now, this is it. And we can come to the last part of this vlog, which will be an unhaul for the month. The first book that I will be unhauling is The Will of the Many by James Islington. Yes, you heard right. I loved the book, but I don't need 2 editions. And this is the English one with the, for me, prettier cover. But I have read the German edition. The new covers will be like this. So I will be unhauling this version. And in theory, I also need to unhaul the Book of Azrael, because I didn't like the book, because I don't want to continue the series. But it is so pretty. I really have a hard time to unhaul this right now because it was expensive, because it is stunning to look at. But is this enough to keep the book? Let's be honest, no. If I didn't like the story and don't want to continue the series, I shouldn't keep the hardcover just because it's pretty. That makes no sense. So I will be unhauling this, even if I just hauled this. It hurts a little bit, but it is the right thing. And I will keep all the other books here. So we are at the end of this video. Please tell me in the comments what you have read in April, which was your favorite book. Like the video if you wanna, follow my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye!